I want you to imagine something. A grandmother sits alone at her breakfast table. Sunlight falls across her hands, casting delicate shadows on wrinkled skin that once cradled children, stitched clothes, and baked memories into the very soul of her family. She's 78, and she eats blueberries every morning. She does it faithfully. Because a doctor once told her they were good for her eyes. Because a wellness article called them nature's candy. Because her neighbors said they protect the heart. Because they're easy to chew. Because she believes in doing something for her health even now, when no one seems to notice that her strength fades quietly with each passing year. But what if I told you that her effort, sincere and devoted as it is, could be undermining her? What if I told you that certain food combinations, especially with blueberries, could be quietly blocking the very nutrients her aging body so desperately needs? And what if this unseen sabotage is happening to millions? You see, in medicine, the danger isn't always what we eat, it's what we combine, what we assume is harmless, what we never question. It's the teaspoon of normal that slips through the cracks of knowledge, especially for older adults who trust food to be simple and safe. Blueberries are extraordinary. Packed with anthocyanins, vitamin C, and polyphenol, they're tiny sentinels against oxidative damage. Their antioxidants shield the eyes from age-related macular degeneration, help protect the brain from cognitive decline, and act as foot soldiers for the immune system. But food isn't just chemistry. It's symphony. And like any great orchestra, the wrong pairing can turn harmony into dissonance. Let's start with something so common, so seemingly innocent, it's almost always overlooked. Nuts. Almonds, cashews, walnuts. On their own, they're good, rich in magnesium, omega-3s, protein. But when combined with blueberries, a hidden war begins. You see, blueberries contain compounds called tannins and oxalates. These are naturally occurring polyphenol that, ironically, can bind to minerals and make them harder to absorb, especially iron. Nuts. They're loaded with phytic acid, also known as phytates, which also block iron, zinc, and calcium absorption. When combined, nuts and blueberries can act like twin gates closing on your mineral intake. A double blockade. Particularly cruel for the older adult whose stomach acid is already weaker, whose absorption rate has already dropped with age, and whose iron stores may already be dwindling without symptoms. Fatigue. Pale skin. Lightheadedness. Brain fog. All signs of a body deprived of iron, but often blamed on just getting older. For a senior woman, perhaps one who's had heavy periods in her earlier years, or who eats little red meat, this combination, repeated daily, can slowly drain vitality. And it doesn't stop there. Both nuts and blueberries contain fermentable carbohydrates, FODMAPs. These feed bacteria in the gut, which isn't always bad. But for someone with IBS, SIBO, or reduced pancreatic enzymes, this pairing can trigger bloating, cramps, and loose stools. Or worse, silence, no symptoms, just inflammation that quietly erodes the gut's integrity. And then there's oxalate. You've probably never been told that oxalates can cause kidney stones. But for seniors, especially those with impaired kidney function, it's a real risk. Blueberries and almonds together? A perfect storm for oxalate overload. But here's the truth, the issue isn't that you must never eat them. It's that you must respect the timing, the preparation, the awareness. Food is medicine when handled with wisdom and poison when blindly combined. If you enjoy blueberries in the morning, eat them alone or with vitamin C-rich foods like oranges or red bell peppers. Wait at least 2 hours before having your nuts. Or soak your almonds overnight to reduce their phytic acid. Small shifts. Big difference. Let's move now to something even more familiar. Tea. The comfort of a warm cup in aged hands. A ritual of quiet mornings. But that comfort hides a truth that many seniors don't hear. Black tea, green tea, even some herbal teas, are rich in tannins. These astringent compounds give tea its dry mouth feel. But inside the gut, tannins bind to non-heme iron, just like those in blueberries, making absorption almost impossible. And when consumed together, you've just wrapped iron in 2 layers of defense. Locked away. Lost. For older adults, especially those who no longer eat large, iron-rich meals, this combination, daily, quiet, habitual, is a slow erosion. Over months and years, it can lead to anemia, fatigue, depression, worsening cognition. I've seen it in my clinic more times than I can count, a patient in their 70s or 80s, eating healthy, drinking green tea with fruit, and wondering why they're too tired to walk the dog or finish a sentence. It's not age. It's biochemistry. It's the innocent combination of antioxidant-rich blueberries with iron-blocking tannins. And if that's paired with a low-protein breakfast, there's nothing to rescue the loss. So what should you do? First, drink tea an hour before or 2 hours after meals, especially if you're eating blueberries. Second, choose herbal teas with low tannin content like rooibos, chamomile, or peppermint. These soothe the stomach, support digestion, and leave your nutrients untouched. Third, if you're vegetarian or low on red meat, make vitamin C your ally. A few slices of kiwi, a sprinkle of lemon juice, these amplify iron absorption and offset the tannin effect. It's alchemy through nature. Let's pause here, not to summarize, but to remember what's at stake. When an older adult loses vision, loses energy, or loses balance, it's not just a symptom. It's a story unraveling. The man who once carved his family's Thanksgiving turkey but now forgets which drawer holds the forks. The woman who raised 5 children but now fears a fall every time she reaches for the pantry shelf. These stories are sacred. And every nutritional decision, no matter how small, holds the power to preserve them or hasten their erosion. So let us not consume thoughtlessly. Let us not place a blueberry beside a cup of tea without reverence. Let us choose, instead, with the wisdom of generations. Because what's on your plate is not just food. It's future. Memory. Sight. Strength. And strength is what we must protect most fiercely, especially in those who have already given so much. Strength is not a number on a lab test. It's the ability to lift a grandchild without fear. To get up from a chair without bracing. To walk to the mailbox without holding your breath. It's dignity. The silent kind. And yet, so much of that dignity is stolen, not by disease, but by 1,000 small, well-intended choices. Like blueberries and coffee. Yes, coffee. Ah, coffee. The warm companion of morning light. The sacred ritual of solitude. For many seniors, it's a non-negotiable comfort. A smell tied to memory, to routine, to the years when they were strong and bustling and late for work. But let me ask you, have you ever had a patient whose hands trembled more after coffee? Or whose stomach felt sour even after eating? Or whose energy spiked and then crashed like a wave at sea? We physicians often see it, caffeine as a double-edged sword. And when it crosses paths with the nutrients in blueberries, the damage is subtle but real. Let's look closer. Caffeine, in its pure form, is a stimulant and a diuretic. It speeds up the central nervous system and promotes fluid loss through increased urination. And dehydration is no small thing for an older adult. When you lose water, your tears reduce. Your eye surface dries. And dry eyes, though they sound trivial, can become red, itchy, inflamed, and more prone to infection. Blueberries were meant to protect your vision. Their anthocyanins and vitamin C guard the delicate cells of the retina. But when paired with coffee, that protection weakens. Why? Because dehydration interferes with the lubrication and oxygenation of the eye. It sets the stage for microtears, light sensitivity, and in the worst cases, damage that invites conditions like macular degeneration or glaucoma to sneak in unnoticed. Caffeine also speeds up digestion. Sounds good, right? Not always. When the gut rushes, it doesn't absorb. The vitamin C in blueberries, already sensitive to temperature and acidity, may pass through the intestines unmetabolized, gone, wasted. The antioxidants? The same. Pushed through too quickly. Worse still, caffeine raises intraocular pressure. Not in everyone, but in those already genetically vulnerable, or those with borderline pressure levels, this can be the silent push over the edge. Elevated eye pressure is the seedbed of glaucoma. And glaucoma is a thief, it robs vision slowly, from the edges inward. You don't notice it, until you do. And then it doesn't come back. So what can be done? You don't need to give up coffee. I wouldn't ask that. But separate it from your blueberries. Give your gut time, drink your coffee an hour after your berry-filled breakfast, not with it. Or consider matcha. Lower in caffeine. Higher in L-theanine. Gentler on the body. Or decaf pure, water-processed decaf that preserves the ritual but protects your vessels. Better yet? Pair blueberries not with a jolt, but with a foundation. Whole oats. Slow-burning, heart-calming, fiber-rich oats. Oats and blueberries make music together in the body. Soluble fiber in oats slows the release of sugar, helping prevent the blood glucose spikes that can harm delicate capillaries in the eyes. This matters deeply to older adults, especially those with prediabetes or early insulin resistance. Because vision is not just about eyes, it's about the blood flow behind them. Oats are rich in beta-glucan, which nourishes the gut microbiome, the very system responsible for digesting and absorbing the antioxidants in blueberries. They also contain vitamin E and zinc, both vital for retinal health and nerve signaling. With oats, blueberries shine brighter. Their nutrients are shepherded into the bloodstream. Their purpose fulfilled. But let me take you to another breakfast table. This time, a younger woman. Perhaps 62. A diabetic. She wakes up and blends a smoothie, frozen berries, banana, juice, yogurt, store-bought, sweetened. She thinks she's doing something good. Something clean. Something whole. But the sugar, it tells another story. You see, when blueberries meet excessive sugar, their magic weakens. Blueberries work like fire extinguishers against oxidative stress. But sugar is the fire. A smoothie with 30 grams of added sugar floods the blood. It overwhelms the pancreas. It sets off an insulin spike that batters the blood vessels. And in the eye, those vessels are fragile. Microscopic. Vulnerable. The antioxidants in blueberries can't keep up. They become overworked, oxidize themselves, unable to neutralize the onslaught of free radicals that sugar unleashes. What begins as breakfast becomes a slow injury. Especially in someone with diabetes, where every blood sugar spike etches tiny scars into the retina. This is how diabetic retinopathy is born, not in one meal, but in the repetition of meals that were never questioned. Sugar doesn't just feed the tongue. It feeds inflammation. And inflammation is the thread that runs through every age-related disease, from arthritis to Alzheimer's to vision loss. So what should she eat instead? Greek yogurt. Plain. Unsweetened. Thick with protein. Add fresh blueberries, a drizzle of cinnamon, and maybe crushed flaxseed. Now you've built a fortress. Greek yogurt brings protein, a macronutrient many older adults lack. It helps maintain lean muscle, supports satiety, and balances blood sugar. Its probiotics heal the gut, allowing for better absorption of polyphenol. Even calcium, so essential for nerve conduction and ocular muscle contraction, is better utilized in the presence of healthy fat and protein. And the blueberries? They do their work undisturbed. Shielding the eyes. Guarding the brain. That's the difference a pairing can make. Now we turn to perhaps the most heartbreaking combination of all. Trans fats. They hide in plain sight. In boxed pastries, frozen pizzas, snack cakes, fried foods. They're disguised under labels like partially hydrogenated oil. And they are poison. No nutrient in blueberries can undo the damage caused by trans fats. They raise LDL cholesterol. Lower HDL. Stiffen blood vessels. Clog arteries. And in the eye, they do something even more insidious, they starve the retina. The retina is the most metabolically active tissue in the human body. It needs blood. Constantly. Rich, oxygenated blood. Trans fats narrow the roads that feed it. Combine them with blueberries and it's like mixing a water purifier with battery acid. The good cannot neutralize the bad. the damage wins. Trans fats worsen inflammation. They harden the endothelium, impair nitric oxide, and raise intraocular pressure. They trigger the very diseases blueberries try to prevent: macular degeneration, glaucoma, retinopathy. They also fuel brain inflammation, impair memory, slow cognition. For seniors, already fighting to hold on to names, faces, places, this is betrayal at the cellular level. But there is a rescue. Leafy greens. Spinach, kale, collards, Swiss chard. Rich in lutein and zeaxanthin antioxidants that accumulate in the macula, filtering blue light and shielding photoreceptors. When eaten with blueberries, these greens amplify their benefits. They provide vitamin K for ocular tissue integrity, vitamin A for night vision, and folate for methylation pathways that keep inflammation at bay. Together, they nourish the body like rain on parched earth. In a salad, a smoothie, or gently steamed with olive oil and lemon, these foods become medicine. Not flashy. Not faddish. But eternal in their wisdom. And that's the heart of it, isn't it? Nutrition is not about restriction. It's about reverence. Not about fear, but about faith that the body still wants to heal. Still wants to serve you. Still wants to see, to remember, to move. But we must meet it halfway. With intention. With knowledge. With the grace to stop harming it in the name of health. And now, we arrive at the deeper truth. This is not a story about blueberries. Not really. It's a story about care. About intention. About honoring the body not with grand gestures, but with quiet, daily devotion. You see, I have sat beside patients in their final decades. Held their hands as they wondered when their bodies had begun to betray them. Listened as they whispered, "I didn't know. I thought I was eating well. I thought I was doing everything right." And in those moments, I learned something medicine never taught me in school. That aging is not the problem. Neglect is. That weakness is not a fate. It's a signal asking us to look closer. That the body does not crumble out of spite or inevitability. It whispers. It adjusts. It adapts. And if we listen early enough, it responds. I want to talk now to those who feel forgotten. To the 70-year-old man whose joints ache in the morning and thinks, well, I'm just getting old. To the 82-year-old woman whose vision blurs slightly and thinks, it's probably just normal for my age. To the retired couple drinking smoothies, unaware that the sugar inside them is dimming the very light in their eyes. You deserve to know. There is no age at which you stop deserving full, vibrant health. No chapter where it becomes too late to nourish the vessel that carries you. Every organ in your body wants to serve you, even now. Your heart still beats 100,000 times a day without complaint. Your lungs still breathe in 11,000 liters of air, feeding your cells with silent loyalty. Your brain still lights up when it hears a favorite song. And your eyes, oh, your eyes, they still ache to witness sunsets, grandchildren's laughter, letters in old books. But they need you to protect them. That protection does not lie in fads or pills or slogans. It lies in your daily rituals. Your food. Your movement. Your rest. It lies in knowing which combinations feed you, and which rob you. It lies in replacing the morning blueberries with tea with blueberries and lemon water. The granola bar full of sugar with oats, cinnamon, and flax. The late-night muffin with trans fats with a bowl of yogurt and blueberries and greens. Simple. Sacred. This is how we preserve dignity, not by fighting age, but by feeding it. Not by chasing youth, but by honoring the wisdom that age brings. Because health at 75 looks different than health at 25, but it is no less noble. No less worthy of protection. The body remembers how you've treated it. And the beauty is, it forgives. Give it 1 week of proper food, and it begins to repair. Give it 1 month of conscious combinations, and the eyes see clearer, the mind thinks faster, the legs walk stronger. Give it 1 season of devotion, and the aging body does not fade, it rises. And that is the truth we've forgotten in our rush to medicate, to diagnose, to label. The body does not ask to be perfect. It asks only to be supported. So, my dear listener, as you walk into your kitchen tomorrow morning, as you reach for the blueberries, pause. Look down at them not as snacks, but as allies. Tiny healers, waiting. Then ask yourself, will I give them the company they need? Or the ones that mute their magic? Will I remember that every bite is a message to my cells? A choice between erosion and renewal? And will I finally treat this body, these eyes, this heart, these bones, not as old, but as sacred? Because I promise you, you are not a vessel past repair. You are not a story ending. You are a chapter deepening. And the choices you make today, yes, today, will echo into the weeks, the months, the years ahead. This is your moment. Let the combinations you choose be wise. Let them be nourishing. Let them say, I still care. I still believe. I still choose life. Because healing is not something that happens in hospitals. It begins with what you place on your plate. And every single time you reach for blueberries, may it be with reverence, and with the quiet knowing that you are worth every ounce of healing they offer. Always have been. Always will be. If this spoke to your heart, if it opened your eyes to what aging can still become, then don't let it end here. Tap subscribe to stay on this path of strength, dignity, and healing. Click like if you're ready to nourish yourself differently. And share this with someone you love, because the greatest gift we can give is knowledge that protects the ones who matter most. This isn't just health advice. This is a return to reverence. You are not fading. You are unfolding. And we're here with you every step of the way.